Thinking, fast and slow, full summary and key insights. What if I told you that every decision you make is controlled by two invisible forces inside your mind? One is fast, intuitive, and automatic. The other is slow, logical, and effortful. These two forces shape your choices, beliefs, and even your mistakes, and you probably don't even realize it. Welcome to the full summary of Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, one of the most influential books on human psychology and decision-making. Let's dive in. Part 1, Two Systems, Chapter 1, The Characters of the Story. Kahneman introduces System 1 and System 2, the two modes of thinking. System 1 is fast, emotional, and automatic. System 2 is slow, logical, and effortful. Example: recognizing a friend in a crowd? System 1. Multiplying main, 17x 24? System 2. Chapter 2. Attention and effort. System 2 requires mental energy. When we focus on one task, we ignore other things. Example: try memorizing a phone number while walking. You might not hear someone calling your name. Chapter 3. The Lazy Controller. System 2 is lazy and prefers to let System 1 take control. This leads to errors and biases. Example: when we're tired, we believe false information more easily. Chapter 4. The Associative Machine System. 1 constantly connects ideas, even when it's wrong. Example: if I say banana, you might immediately think yellow. Chapter 5. Cognitive Ease. We trust familiar things more. Example: a sentence in bold font seems more believable than one in faint font, even if they say the same thing. Chapter 6. Norms, Surprises, and Causes. Our brain predicts what should happen and gets surprised when something unexpected occurs. Example: if a normally quiet person suddenly shouts, we immediately look for an explanation. Chapter 7. A Machine for Jumping to Conclusions. System 1 makes snap judgments, sometimes wrong ones. Example: if someone is good-looking, we assume they're also smart and kind. This is called the halo effect. Part 2. Heuristics and Biases. Chapter 8. How Judgments Happen. We use mental shortcuts, heuristics, to make quick decisions. Example: after hearing about a shark attack, we overestimate the risk of swimming in the ocean. Chapter 9. Answering an easier question. When asked a hard question, our brain answers an easier one instead. Example: instead of evaluating a politician's qualifications, people vote based on how much they like them. Chapter 10. The Law of Small Numbers. Small samples can be misleading. Example: a hospital with fewer births may have extreme gender ratios, more boys or more girls. Chapter 11. Anchors. Random numbers influence our decisions. Example: if you're asked, is Turkey's population more than 30 million? You'll guess a number close to 30 million. Chapter 12. The Science of Availability. We judge risk based on memorable examples. Example: if we recently heard about a plane crash, we assume flying is dangerous, even though it's statistically safe. Chapter 13. Availability, Emotion, and Risk. Emotional events stick in our memory and make risks seem bigger. Example: people fear terrorism more than car accidents, even though car accidents kill far more people. Chapter 14. Tom W.'s Specialty. We ignore statistics and rely on stereotypes. Example: if told Tom is smart and loves books, we assume he's a professor, not a truck driver, even though there are far more truck drivers. Chapter 15. Linda. Less is more. We fall for detailed but wrong stories. Example: which is more likely? 1. Linda is a bank teller. 2. Linda is a bank teller and an activist. Answer: 1 is more likely, but most people choose 2. Chapter 16. Causes trump statistics. We ignore statistics when making judgments. Example: if a rare disease test has a 5% false positive rate, we overestimate the chance of actually having the disease. Chapter 17. Regression to the mean extreme performances return to average over time. Example, a sports player who has an amazing season is likely to perform worse next year. Chapter 18. Taming intuitive predictions. We should adjust our predictions based on averages. Example, a student who scores high on one test will likely score closer to average next time. Part 3. Overconfidence. Chapter 19 to 20. The illusion of understanding and validity. We create stories to explain randomness. Example, if a company succeeds, we assume their strategy was brilliant, even if luck played a role. Chapter 21. Intuition versus formula. Simple formulas often predict better than human intuition. Example, an algorithm predicting student success outperforms college admissions officers. Part 4. Choices. Chapter 22. Prospect theory and loss aversion. Losing feels worse than winning feels good. Example, losing Rs 1000 hurts more than gaining Rs 1000 feels good. Chapter 23-26. Risk and framing. How a choice is framed affects decisions. Example, surgery has a 90% survival rate. Sounds safe. Surgery has a 10% death rate. Sounds risky. They're the same, but the wording changes how we feel. Part 5. Two selves. Chapter 27. The experiencing versus remembering self. We remember peaks and endings, not averages. Example, a painful medical procedure feels worse if it ends badly, even if most of it was mild. Final takeaways. System 1 is fast but biased. System 2 is logical but lazy. We rely too much on intuition. Framing and loss aversion influence choices. Now that you understand how your mind works, you can make better decisions and avoid common traps. If you found this video helpful, like, share, and subscribe to Books at a Glance for more book summaries on psychology, decision-making, and leadership. See you in the next video.